We don't have a lot more time. Cayce, Cannon, and Bledsoe are all pointing to October 2026. I'm going to talk about here's what they saw, but I want you to know something. You and I have full control, and there are big things happening right now. Their prophecies have discussed this. Bledsoe, who's still here with us, the truth is, no matter what NASA or the CIA or anybody else says, Chris Bledsoe gave us an event, but not a date. We're going to talk about this today. All right, I'm going to say something that most prophecy channels will never tell you. Cayce saw it. Dolores Cannon confirmed it. Chris Bledsoe said it out loud in 2026. The October window, the one everyone is pointing to, it's not a fixed event. Wait till I tell you what you can do with this. Manifestation has never been a more powerful tool. I'm going to demonstrate that to you in this video. Everything is a quantum probability, and whether you realize it or not, you are already choosing which version of October you walk into. That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, there's been debate about whether prophecy is fixed, whether seers see what will happen or what could happen. Let's look at what the quantum science actually says. Federico Faggin, the physicist who created the Intel microprocessor. He was a materialist, had an event, a huge event that connected him to the quantum field. He spent the final decades of his life studying consciousness. He said something that stopped me cold. He said, reality is rendered, not created. Rendered, what does that mean? Meaning it already exists as a probability. Now we're going to look at manifestation different. We're not creating anything. We're shifting into that reality that already exists. And what you focus on, what you believe, what you choose, that is what gets pulled into physical form. You're doing it right now. Now you have to remember that, because when we look at what Cayce, Cannon, and Bledsoe all saw about this October window, that framework changes everything. You're not watching a prediction, you're participating in one. So here's what I want to focus on today. 3 seers, 3 visions, and the quantum science that connects all of them to your power as a conscious creator. Are you ready for more? Let's go. Now let's start with Edgar Cayce, because Cayce didn't just make predictions. He described a process, he called it the New Order. And what he consistently said was that the shift into this new order would not be a single catastrophic event. It would be a transition, a gradual, then sudden acceleration. Now, don't be afraid of the word the new order. Don't get attached to any terms. He meant an order of things that we have not been practicing, but all have access to. His readings described a period where the old world consciousness, built on fear, separation, and control, would begin to collapse. Fear. That's a key word. We're going to come back to that. Not from the outside in, from the inside out, meaning consciousness shifts first, physical reality follows. Now, Cayce specifically pointed to Earth changes, geological, political, cultural, all converging within a window. His interpreters have long aligned with exactly where we are right now, 2025 to 26. We are seeing major Earth changes. Yes, it's happening right now. But here's what most people skip over. Cayce said, and I want you to hear this, the destiny of man is not fixed. This is determined by the will of the soul. Do you feel it? That's not a passive observation. That is a quantum statement. The soul, your consciousness, is the variable that determines which version of the transition you experience. Yeah, let's talk about this. Anything that any seer sees is one probability of endless ones. So if anyone tells you they know the future, be aware it's a distraction. And we're choosing which one we bring into our reality through our focus. Not necessarily what we want, but what we believe. So if you're watching somebody else and you believe it, you are creating it. Be careful of that. I want you to remember that. Now let's talk about Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon confirmed this from a completely different angle through thousands of quantum healing hypnosis technique sessions. Hypnotic regression work with clients on every continent. Cannon documented what she called the New Earth split. She was getting messages from the other side. Let's not go into that. Just know that she described two versions of Earth existing simultaneously as quantum probabilities. Probabilities, right? Because everything exists at once. One continuing the old 3D consciousness, fear, density, separation, and a new Earth, a higher frequency existence already available to those who choose it. It's here. It's already existing. It's a choice. Now, here's what's critical. Cannon didn't say the new Earth happens to you. She said you have to choose it. Consciously, she said your vibration, the frequency of your thoughts, your focus, your beliefs, you have to be very sure this is literally the mechanism by which you cross from one probability to the other. Now, there's been debate about when this split reaches what Cannon called critical mass, the point where enough consciousness has shifted that the New Earth timeline becomes the dominant probability. And the time frame her subjects consistently described aligns with exactly where we are now. This 2025 to 2026 acceleration window, because they're all one thing. Cayce's new order, Cannon's new Earth split, they're describing the same quantum event through different frameworks. The shift is the same. The mechanism is the same. Can you turn the story around? Of course you can. Go to bed tonight knowing that, and Cannon's entire body of work exists to prove it. You get to create yours. There's a beautiful future that exists right now. Now, I'm going to show you what Chris Bledsoe said, because what he was told directly connects everything Cayce and Cannon described to a specific moment, and it changes how you think about the next 90 days. Let's talk about Chris Bledsoe. Chris Bledsoe has been communicating with higher beings since 2007. And I want you to pay attention to the exact language, because what he described about this October 2026 window is precise. Bledsoe doesn't speak in geological timelines. He speaks in direct messages. And what he has consistently described is a moment he calls the shift of knowing, a point where the veil between physical reality and higher consciousness becomes so thin that the choice between frequencies becomes undeniable for every human being on Earth. No one's left behind. He's pointed to this period, late 2026, as the moment when what has been building in the quantum field becomes visible in the physical world. Not a single event, a revelation of what has already been chosen. Now, here's what Bledsoe's beings have been consistent on above all else. They have said the outcome is not fixed. They have said that collective human consciousness is the determining factor, that how many people are choosing love, choosing awareness, choosing the new Earth frequency right now in these months is literally writing the outcome. It's the same message. We're in control. Nothing's in stone. That's not a disclaimer. That is the most powerful statement in this entire video, because it means you are in this equation. Your conscious choice right now, what you focus on, what you believe, what you render, real. Federico Faggin said, what you render, what you shift into, is part of the collective quantum field that determines what October 2026 actually becomes. Quantum conscious choice, the empowerment core. So here's what I want you to understand. 3 seers, different centuries, different methods, different frameworks, every single one arrived at the same conclusion. The future is not a fixed track you're riding. It's a quantum field of probabilities. And your consciousness is the observer that collapses these probabilities into experience. We're just rendering it. You get to choose it. Faggin said it. Rendering isn't creating something. It's bringing into existence what already exists. The new Earth already exists as a quantum probability. Cannon subjects saw it. Bledsoe was told it's real. Cayce described it through the lens of soul will. Now, here's what quantum manifestation actually means in practice, because this is not a metaphor. This is physics. The observer effect, confirmed in quantum mechanics, shows that the act of conscious observation collapses a wave of probability into a single particle of reality. You're not separate from what you observe. You are the mechanism of its creation. So here's what I'm going to ask you right now. What are you believing about October 2026? Are you watching it with fear, collapsing the fear probability into reality? Or are you watching it with knowing, with the certainty of the new earth already rendered, already real, already yours. Because that choice, that shift in what you believe is the most powerful action you can take in the next 90 days. Not prediction watching, not preparation, quantum conscious choice. That's our mission. Everything else is a distraction. Everything. What are you doing to contribute to this new world? I want you to sit with that because what you give out here comes back to you. If you're watching and listening to somebody else who tells you what's going to happen, you create it. And they are a distraction because you can create anything. Let's talk about the convergence payoff. I'm going to ask you right now to never lose sight of this beautiful reality. What Cayce saw, what Cannon confirmed, what Bledsoe was told, they're not giving you a warning, they're giving you a map. Other things are going to happen. It's the collapse of the old world. Don't go into fear. I'm going to give you an opportunity later on in this video to not do that, but to go into this new world because the map says a moment of acceleration is here. The veil is thinning, the probabilities are narrowing, and the consciousness you bring to this window in these 90 days is your vote for which reality becomes dominant. You have to change it by seeing the change, by being the change, by knowing that the reality is now in your midst and that the physical world will catch up with it. You have to have faith in that. Dolores Cannon's intention in all of her work was for you to realize that you are a sovereign creator, not a passenger, not a victim of prophecy, a creator who chose to be here at this exact moment for exactly this reason. Yes. No one's a victim. Cayce said the destiny of man is determined by the will of the soul. Bledsoe's beings said collective consciousness writes the outcome. Quantum science says your observation collapses the wave. Yes, becomes a particle, becomes reality. They're all saying the same thing because they're all one thing. So if this landed for you, drop a comment below. Tell me what reality are you choosing for October 2026 and for today. Declare it because declaration is part of the rendering process. And I want to let you know I'm releasing a free masterclass that's going to be announced here shortly. In 1 week, I'm going to release that. It's going to be free for you. I'm going to show you how to go into the new rendering. How do you do it? How do you go from where you are now that's uncomfortable, that's fearful? Maybe you have lack, you're broke, you're sick, whatever it is. We can change it, and I'm going to show you how to do it. That's how much power you wield. And all of these seers are telling you that. Are you ready to do it? Get ready. I'm releasing Breakthrough Fear, and it's going to be mind-blowing. I'm going to help you go into a new world because these next few months are critical. Big things are happening. What is it you're going to be a part of? Please subscribe, give this a thumbs up if this content serves you, and please share it with others. You, of course, know that my book is available to you. It talks about this whole era and what you want to step into if you want to go into that fully conscious space where you can manifest anything. You shift into the rendering, as Federico Faggin said. So, blessings to you, my friend. You're whole and perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. That's from the Master Key System. Let's break through fear. Get ready for that big announcement. Go into my description for all kinds of opportunities that are serving the new earth. I'll see you there. Namaste.